We do this every single day to practice consistency, to build a little bit of community, and hopefully together we can make a whole bunch of progress towards our side split goals. My name is Ken. You are here to stretch, so let's get into it. Whew. We're going to get started with 3 warm-up exercises. We do this the same way pretty much every single day. The first exercise is called the hip CARS. CARS stands for controlled articulated rotations. And basically, we're taking our knee and we're pointing it all sorts of different directions to get our leg through its full range of motion at that hip joint. All right. So first position that we're going to work on is this high knee. I'm going to turn sideways so you can see that I'm trying to lift this knee as high as I can directly in front. Then we're going to point that knee directly to the left or right side, depending on which side you're working on. And then we're going to rotate that leg so that the knee and the ankle both go as high as possible. High knee, high ankle. Bring the leg down and back. Whew, lost balance for a little bit. Flex the hamstrings, flex the glutes, contract, contract, contract. Feel that stretch in the front of your hip. And that is 1 rep. We're going to do that 10 times on the left leg. We're going to do that 10 times on the right leg. Then we're going to do 10 left and right going in the reverse direction. All right, let's go. High knee, open, ankle, down and back. 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 I think that's 5. 6. Remember to breathe. 7. 8. Ooh, off balance. 9. And 10. Whew. All right. We got 1 leg done. Let's keep going. Get the next leg. Same thing. We're going high knee, opening, rotating that leg, bring the ankle up as high as we can, bring the leg down and back, flexing the hamstrings, flexing the glutes, pulling the leg back behind us. I'm going to do the next one angled sideways so you can see what my leg is doing. Whew. Okay, let's go. 9 more. High knee. Open up directly to the side. Keep that knee high. Rotate the leg so that the knee and the ankle are both as high as possible. Bring the leg down and back. Flex the hamstrings. Flex the glutes. Whew. Let's go for number 3. 4. 5. 6. I'm going to rotate around so it's easier to mirror. 7. 8. 9. And 10. Woo, hip CARS. Forward direction, left and right side. Done. Let's reverse it. When we reverse it, it's the same moves. We just do it going backwards instead of going forwards. So we start by flexing the glutes, flexing the hamstrings, bringing that leg back behind our standing leg, feeling that little bit of a stretch in the front of the hip. We're going to lift directly up to the side. Try to keep that ankle as high as possible. Rotate that leg. Get that knee as high as possible. It's still pointing directly to our side. Let me spin around to show you. My chest is facing you. My leg is pointing directly to the left. And then finally, bring that knee in directly in front. That is 1 rep. We got 9 more. Let's go. I'm going to stay sort of cheated at this angle. Whew. Back, side, ankle, knee, back, side, ankle, knee, back, side. Whew. Lost balance. Ankle, knee, back, side, ankle, knee, back, side, ankle, knee, back, side, ankle, knee, back, side, ankle, knee, back, side. Oh, wow, super lost balance. Side, ankle, knee. I think that's 9. 1 last one. Back, side. Ah, what's going on today? Ankle, knee, 10. Whew. All right, we got 1 last leg. We're almost done with the hip CARS. If you're just joining and you have no idea what we're doing, we do 30-ish minutes of live side split stretching every single day. And this is one of our first warm-up exercises to get our hips working, to get our blood pumping, to get our heart rate up. So we're warmed up and ready for the more hard stuff that's coming up real soon. We just did hip CARS, which is all about moving your legs through their full range of motion at the hip. We did it on 3 sides. And by 3, I mean we did both the left and the right going forward. We just did the left going backwards. Now we're going to finish with the right leg going backwards. And this is what it looks like. We're going to flex the glutes, flex the hamstrings. I point to the hamstrings first. Flex the glutes, flex the hamstrings, bring that leg down and back. Try to keep your back pretty straight. I know if you're trying to stick your leg out real far back, you're tempted to fold forward. You can a little bit, just don't do too much because it doesn't actually help you. All right, from here, lift that leg directly to the side. Keep that knee and ankle high, like you're gonna kick somebody, like you're really cool in a martial arts movie. Rotate that leg so that the knee is pointing straight up as high as you can get it. And then finally bring that knee directly to the front end. My hip just cracked. Yeah, my right hip has a little bit of funkiness right here, somewhere between this point, and that point. There we go. I don't know if you heard it, but it's cracked, and now I'm good. I can move it again. All right, let's do 9 more reps and wrap up with hip cars on this side. Back, side, ankle, knee. Yep, there we go. The hip has, done whatever it needs to do in that first rep. Back, side, ankle, knee. Back, side, ankle, knee. Back, side, ankle, knee. Oh, way better balance. I totally just jinxed myself. Side, ankle, knee. No, it's still going good. Back, side, ankle, knee. Back, side, ankle, knee. I think that's 9 and 10. Whew. All right, hip cars are done. I'm going to come in real quick, take a look at the chat, see if I missed anything fun. Trouble with Roxy has thrown a whole bunch of likes into the live. Thank you, thank you. Ari Mackay followed. Welcome. I think Springy Spring has followed. Welcome, welcome. Key to the Jack. Thank you for joining up. Chasing Workouts. Hello. Welcome back. All right. Oh, a whole bunch of people have followed. Kant. I cannot read. Oh, after Maddie, Bella, his wife, their mom. That's funny. Keontae, I go live every single day at this time. And we go live for about 35, 40, 45 minutes, depending on how much talking and explaining I do. This came at a perfect time. I lost my splits over the years and need them back. That's awesome. I hope we can get them back together. All right. I think that is all the chat I need to respond to. Aerobag C5437 on YouTube says, "My, hello." Foxy Roxy says, "Hello, long time no see. It's good to see you." All right, we just did hip cars. That was the first of our warm-up exercises. Let's get into warm-up exercise number 2. Don't worry, it's nice and gentle. We start nice and slow. We're doing the elephant walk, and it looks a little bit like this. We're getting into this L shape, and it's about hamstrings. There's no hiding. We're doing hamstring stretches, but we're taking it nice and slow, nice and gentle, because probably for most of us, this is the first time you're bending over this intensely today. And what I want you to do is focus on bringing your belly button down as much as possible. As the hamstrings tense up back here, just take some nice big deep breaths in and release, and just do a little bit of bouncing. We don't have to take it super intense because we're just doing a warm up. It's okay. It gets intense later, and the warm up is for making it a little bit more fun when it's intense. All right. Once you have done a little bit of bouncing, your hamstrings have started moving a little bit. I want you to bend one knee and straighten out the other. All right. And in the straightened leg, I want you to really pop that butt out. I call it sassy hips, but really we're just making it so that you feel a little bit more of a stretch in that outer side glute area. We're going to do a stretch later called the pigeon or the figure 4, and it's going to really stretch out this muscle. But since we're already in a position that can give it a little blood, give it a little warmth, might as well get a little bit more out of the elephant walks. All right, so same thing. We're trying to bring the belly button down as low as we can, and we're bending one knee, straightening out the other leg. When we straighten out that leg, try to put all of your weight into the straightened leg's hip. Really get that hip popped out. Like I said, sassy hip. All right. Oh, back and forth. Just do a couple. Take your time. Oof. All right. Now that you've done a couple of these, let's make it a little bit more interesting. If you've been on for a couple of days now, you know the drill. We're doing twisting, and it looks a little bit like this. Right now, I'm going to bend my left knee. I'm going to straighten out my right leg, pop that hip out just a little bit. Take my left hand, grab the opposite side leg. So left hand grabbing right leg, twist and open up that chest, point it to the right. Let's take that right hand, stick it up, and try to point it behind me. And use the left hand to push, give myself a little support to twist open and come back down. Whew. That's one twist. Let's go to the other side. So now my right leg is bent, my left leg is straight. My right hand is grabbing my left leg. It's helping to push my chest. My chest is pointing to the left. My left hand is going up into the air, pointed behind me. My eyes are looking at it, seeing where I'm pointing to, and I'm coming back down. Whew. Okay. Thoracic rotation, which is really good for your spine. We don't do much moving as a society, so I imagine you don't do that much twisting either. Let's get a little bit of bonus action in our shoulders, in our arms, in our backs while we work on these hamstrings and this little side glute stretch action going on with our sassy hips. All right? You don't have to do it every single time. You don't have to do it at all, actually. But add them in, get a little bit more warmth in your system. I know as soon as I start these, I always immediately start sweating. And that is really good because the weather is getting a little bit colder where I'm at, and it takes a little bit more work to get warmed up and totally ready. And so at this point, I feel bad if I skip the twists. And it gets the whole upper body sort of warmed up for me. And that's it for the second warm-up exercise. Let's get into warm-up exercise number 3. I'm seeing a whole bunch of stuff happening on the chat. Someone just pop in again real quick. Gina joined the fan club. Sent some hearts. Thank you, thank you. CC03 asked the question that I think Travel with Roxy answered. This is perfect. Will you do this stretch live often? I do it every single day. Whole bunch of people have followed in the attempt to save everybody time. I won't read out any names right now. I'll just get right back into it. B. Whitney says, this hurts so good. Yes. Good vibes. All right. Let's get into the third warm-up exercise. We're doing the Cossack switch. What that looks like is we're going to open up our legs probably 2-3 times our hips width. This right here is hips width. So twice is probably this. 3 times is probably like this for me. So I'm going to open up my legs a little bit. It's not that important. Just to give you some ballpark estimates of where you want to open up your legs. Next, we're going to angle our feet out about 30 to 45 degrees, sort of like to the corners of the wall, right? And we're going to try our best to drop down to one side. You might know this as maybe a lateral lunge, perhaps. And what we're really focused on is trying to feel that pressure in the front of the ankle here, trying to feel that stretch in the Achilles tendon, maybe a little bit in the calf on this side, and feeling the pressure in the hip. We're going to spend quite a bit of time in a position like this where there's a bunch of pressure on our hips, especially later when we're doing the side splits and other stretches. So we're going to just take it nice and chill, hang out here for a little bit, and get our bodies used to the pressure that we're about to put into the legs. All right, on this side, on this leg, I want you to try and keep your heel down. It's really tempting probably to lean really far forward, have your heels come up, your knees pointing real deep over there. I'm going to scoot over so it's easier to see. And this is fine. This is a good, healthy position to work on a little bit. But if you are having a little bit of balance trouble, you're going to be way better at balancing if your heel is down because your feet kind of form a tripod. Your big toe, your little toe, and your heel kind of have an invisible tripod going on. All right? Okay. While we're hanging on this side, I want to point out this other leg over here. You can try to keep your leg in this position where the toes are kind of pointing forward and your feet are flat. That's totally fine. But at some point when we're doing this, I want you to try putting your heels down, pointing your toes up, and having your knees point up into the sky. I'll bend my knee so it's easier to see because I'm wearing pants. And the reason why we want to do this is because we want to warm up these muscles in this exact way. We're going to use them for the side splits later, and I'm pointing them out now. I'm giving you a chance to give them a little bit of extra attention. All right, let's get to the other side and give this much time onto the other hip as well. So there's lots of ways to come to the other side, but I recommend taking your hands, putting them down, helping yourself walk over to the other side and switch positions. Same thing, we're feeling the pressure in the front of the ankle and the Achilles in the hip. Just hang out here for a little bit, and we're going to talk about moving from side to side. All right. Yeah, lots of options. What we want to do is to make you stronger at this movement. This requires a lot of hip mobility, ankle mobility, knee strength, and just general flexibility. Wow, I'm a little bit out of breath. And we can go from side to side in a whole bunch of different ways. So we already talked about putting your hands down, walking across. Let's talk about making it really hard. If you try to stand up real straight, and by stand, I mean just straighten your back up. You can stick your arms out in front of you to counterbalance and try to do the same exact thing, except depending entirely on your leg muscles and your arms to balance. You can come into a full Cossack squat if you'd like. You can go halfway down and shimmy across the other side and do a cool little side to side like so. Or you can come up halfway, drop all the way down, come up halfway, drop all the way down. You can do whatever you want. Just make sure we're doing 5 to 10 reps of back and forth. So end up on your left side 5 times, end up on your right side 5 times, up to 10 times until you're feeling warm or until you're tired of this. You're ready to move on. Okay, I'm pretty sure I've done plenty, at least 10. So I'm gonna pull my pants down and get ready to move into the next stretch. If you are still going, take your time, no worries, no rush. For everybody else, take a moment to go grab a cushion. We're gonna do some hamstring stretches next. We just wrapped up all of our warm-up exercises. Now we're getting to the stretches. The hamstring stretch, I recommend getting a pillow for. If you don't want to get a pillow, if you have an old flip-flop, you have some house slippers because it's getting cold and the floor is cold, or an old towel that you want to just roll up, as long as you have a little bit of padding for your knee, it'll feel much better. It's totally doable without any padding. You can do it, knee to floor, but it's definitely not the most comfortable. And I want you to stay comfortable so that you want to come back. If it sucks and you're miserable and you hate doing this, you might not want to come back. So, that's my personal recommendation. Go grab a cushion. All right. I've rambled for a little bit, so hopefully everybody's grabbed their cushion or whatever it is that they're using for their knees. I threw mine away. I'm not sure why I did that. But let's get into the hamstring stretch. Let's drop onto one knee. Focus on keeping the hips pointed directly forward. All right. Stick the leg you want to stretch, which happens to be this thing right here. I'm going to scoot back so you can actually see my body. And focus on the belly button. Take a nice big deep breath. And sort of fold forward as you exhale. You're going to feel a whole bunch of tension building up in that hamstring. And that's good. That's exactly what's supposed to happen. If that's not what's happening, then you are either super, super flexible or you're doing this wrong. You might be doing it wrong if your leg is actually out here and you're folding forward. You still will feel a little bit of a hamstring stretch, but it's not nearly the same as if it's the right way for you. So I'm going to turn. You don't have to turn. I'm just trying to show you what my body looks like when I'm trying to bring my belly button down to my leg. This is what we're focusing on. Taking this right here where my hands are, trying to bring it down, 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 down. Imagine touching your thigh with the belly button. If that feels too easy for you, you can try bring it to the ground or something. That'd be super flexible. What are you even doing here? I'm just kidding. You're very welcome if you are that flexible. All right. We're gonna hold this for 30 seconds. I want you to keep breathing. And that's it. It's as simple as that. Let's go. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21. If you have sensitive knees, an old injury perhaps, you can also bend your knees slightly and bring your chest down towards that leg and then try to straighten it out from there. That's totally acceptable. Still a hamstring stretch. Also wonderfully uncomfortable and painful. Let's keep going. 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Okay, come on, pull that leg back in. If pulling that leg back in suddenly makes your leg feel like it's totally fine again and it's not painful and it's just, kind of a little bit strange, then that means you did the stretch perfectly. All right. If you're coming out of this stretch and you're like, oh no, my whole leg doesn't work, I'm just going to have to lay down for the rest of the day, then something went wrong. And you should let me know because we probably should talk about that. But for, for 99.9% of people, you should be good. Let's continue and go to the other side. There's nothing else we need to cover. So I'm just going to go right into it. Drop down to that knee, stick the leg directly in front of you. Don't stick it anywhere else, directly in front. Take a nice big deep breath. Drop down into that stretch. When you're in the stretch, remember to keep breathing. And let's go. 30 seconds. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17. Try to keep your back relatively straight. It doesn't have to be perfect, but the straighter you keep your back, the more likely gravity will feel way more intense. 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9. You can try to contract your abs and pull your chest into your legs and see if that helps you get deeper. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Okay, come on up out of that stretch. And we are done. Whew. Hamstring stretch. Congratulations. We are done with one of 5 stretches. And we're going to move on to stretch number 2. Stretch number 2 is the butterfly. And it looks a little bit like this. This is an okay stretch in this current form. I'm going to skip why it's bad. We're just going to get to the wall right now. And I'll tell you all the reasons why the wall is a better version. So get your butt to a wall. Have your hips there, shoulder and head touching the wall. 1, it gives you a nice posture. But 2, and most importantly, it gives you something to push against when you're stretching. All right, let's take the feet, touch them together, pull them in, and your knees are going to pop right up. That is good. That is normal. And what we're going to work on is trying to bring the knees to the ground. This butterfly stretch is a stretch for the groin. And it's really hard to apply pressure into your knees to help you bring it down unless you have something to push against. That is what the wall's for. But before we push, let's talk about using our own muscles to get a little bit stronger in the positions that we want to be in. So we want to use this outer thigh muscle. We want to use these glutes to sort of pull open our groin. And I'm going to grunt a little and try my best to make it visually noticeable that I'm working really hard to bring my knees down to the ground. So follow along. Open those hips. You can hold on to your ankles if you want and really try to contract the glutes and the outer thigh muscles. Pull your knees into the ground. And you might have noticed my knees have fallen a couple of inches, a couple of centimeters. So once you have opened as much as possible and you can't open any further, I want you to take your hands and I want you to apply pressure. If your shoulders and your head are still pushing against the wall, you'll suddenly feel a whole bunch more pressure in the top of your head and in your shoulders as you apply pressure into your legs. And that is exactly what you're supposed to feel. You're able to apply way more power through your arms and push your knees down when the wall is behind you. And maybe the back of your head will suffer a little bit, but it's worth it, I promise. Let's go. 30 seconds. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25. Remember to breathe. 24, 23, 22, 21. I know my voice can be calming, but keep on flexing those glutes and outer thigh muscles. 18, 17, 16, 15. And keep on pushing. 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Remember, we're trying to bring our knees down to the ground. 3, 2, 1, 0. All right, relax. Let the hands go. And if your legs feel like they're stuck, that's also kind of normal. Just give them a little nudge, a push, and they'll come right back to life like butterfly flapping. All right. Once your legs are feeling kind of normal and they're starting to work again, let's get back up and get into stretch number 3. We're doing the standing pancake. I'm going to pop into the chat real quick just to take a look to see if there's any questions or comments I need to address. A whole bunch of people have followed. This is awesome. Live Limitless says nice instruction. I appreciate it. I don't know which one specifically you're talking about, but I'll just pretend all of it was really good because I like the ego boost. All right, let's go. Ahmet Kaya asks, can you say my name? I just said your name. So there you go. There you have it. All right, everybody, let's get into the standing pancake. We're going to do a handful of things. One, we're going to open up our legs kind of wide, but not uncomfortably, right? If you get to a point where your legs are hurting, your hips are hurting, excuse me, right here, it's probably a little bit too much. We don't need to go that far. Always come back up just a little bit. And the focus of the standing pancake is to fold forward. Fold as much as you can to the point where your head is in between your legs and it's a really hard stretch. So we do the standing variation because when our upper body is like this, you got all of gravity pulling you down, and it's even better if you stick your arms out or have a weight over your head. Gravity really works that leverage at the hip and helps to fold you forward. Okay, so that's why we do the standing pancake. But there's some caveats. If you have bad balance or you're really uncomfortable, it might be a little bit hard to stay balanced. If you feel like you might fall backwards because you're trying to counterbalance your hands and you're shaking backwards like this, I recommend you do this against this lovely wall that we just used. And so that if your butt goes too far back, your butt will just touch the wall and everything's fine. Okay, because this is a perfectly valid version of the standing pancake. And if you start leaning too far forward, you can always put your hands down and catch yourself that way. Okay, other than reaching your hands out, there's one other variation that you can try, and that is using all your muscles to pull yourself into a standing pancake position. So you can take your hands, you can grab your calves, and you can pull yourself into this position. The caveat is your upper back, where your arms, are sort of attached to, is going to do all the pulling. So it's unlikely that your low back is going to want to stay flat and straight. So you got to work really hard to try and keep your low back straight. The other thing I want you to focus on if you're going to pull your legs because you're feeling strong today is I want you to think about the bottoms of your butts. All right, those sit bones. I want you to imagine pointing them up into the sky. That will really help you fold forward because the bottom of this bone is basically the bottom of your hip bone, right? And we want the bottoms to point up in order to help us fold forward. I hope that makes sense. That was a lot of explanation. Let's get into position and open up those legs, extend the arms, feel that stretch. 30 seconds. Let's go. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Okay. Come on up out of that stretch and back into standing. Okay, that was intense. If you did it right, you're going to feel it in two main places. You're going to feel it in the inner thighs, and that's because we try to spread our legs open. Even if it wasn't feeling a whole bunch of pressure in the hip when we were doing it, by the time you combine it with all this other stuff, it's going to be intense. All right, so that's the inner thighs getting stretched out. And you're going to feel in the hamstring. The hamstring connects basically right below your knee to into your hip. And so anytime you bend forward, it doesn't matter if your legs are together doing a hamstring stretch, if you're just doing one leg, or if your legs are all the way apart and you're bending forward, as long as your hip is going like so, your hamstrings are going to get involved and they're going to hurt. And that is why we spend so much time taking that elephant walk nice and gentle in the beginning, And then we slowly build up. We add the twisty for funsies to make it less boring. And then we do the hamstring stretch after, so that by the time we get to the standing pancake, your muscles are a little bit warmed up and a little bit more resilient to the suffering we're about to, or I guess we just put them through. All right, that's the standing pancake and a lot of extra information about it. Let's get into stretch number 4. Stretch number 4 is the figure 4 or pigeon, excuse me. And it's called the figure 4 because we're working on this ankle. And when the ankle is across this side of the body, it kind of looks like the number 4. It's extra noticeable when I'm wearing dark pants. Yesterday, for some reason, I don't think I could tell that was number 4. Anyways, doesn't matter. Let's keep going. We're bringing that ankle up as high as you can. We're trying to bring the chest down towards that ankle so that we can feel this stretch in this outer glute. We kind of talked about this right at the beginning when we're doing the elephant walks. If you really, sassy hip it, and you stick your hip out when you're bending forward, you'll start feeling a stretch here across the outside of your butt. And we're doing a very similar area-ish stretch, not exactly the same muscle, but close-ish. And that is what we're doing here in the figure 4 in the pigeon. So there's 2 main ways to get into this stretch. We got the figure 4, which is on our backs, and we have the pigeon, which is on our chest. I like the figure 4 because it's a lot easier to control, and I'll demonstrate it real quick, and we can see the pigeon right after. So this leg I'm going to stretch. I want you to cross it over towards the opposite knee, and I want you to reach your hands through that hole, grab that knee, and pull towards you. Try to keep your low back to the ground and focus on just pulling that leg in towards your chest. You should start feeling that stretch in that outer hip glute area, and you are in total control. The harder you pull, the more intense that stretch is going to feel, and that's why I like it. It's really easy for you to control where this ankle is hanging out. Now let's talk about the pigeon and why the ankle is a little bit more troublesome in the pigeon. All right, so for the pigeon, same thing, we're keeping that leg across our bodies, and you might have already noticed that this ankle has a lot more freedom to slide around, and it's way more comfortable if your leg is tucked. All right, so that means you got to work a little bit harder. You got to be conscious of where this ankle is and where it's going. Maybe stick a hand underneath it, push it away actively to keep it in the position that you want for the stretch that you want. The other thing that makes the pigeon a little bit more difficult is if you have tight hips, it's a little harder to get into this position where your chest is up. One of the ways around that is just don't put your chest up. All right. So this position basically is the same as me standing and pulling my leg up, except we're laying down. So it is totally possible to just keep your chest really low and keep in the same position. But now once we're in this position, gravity is pulling our hips and our chest down towards our leg and helping us feel that stretch. So you can relax way more in the pigeon and just chill here and get a really good stretch. So those are your 2 options. You got on your stomach, let gravity do all the work, but you got to keep your foot in position, and maybe you need a little bit more flexibility to get into this position comfortably. Or we have figure 4, which again looks like this and is easy to get into, but requires you to try really hard to feel that stretch. Oh, okay. I'm already here, so I'm going to do the figure 4 today. I did the pigeon yesterday, and I might have done the pigeon the day before that too. So pick your stretch, get ready, and I'll count us into our 30 seconds. We're almost done. It's almost time for side splits. Let's go. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20. Remember, if you're doing the figure 4 like me, it's supposed to be work. It's supposed to be hard. It's supposed to be uncomfortable. If you're too comfortable, you're probably not stretching hard enough. 15, 14, 13, 12. Oh, and the other con is occasionally if your back is too rounded, you start rolling over. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Oh, release the leg. Take a quick breath, relax for a second, shake out the leg if you want, and let's get into the next stretch and wrap up these stretches. Across the leg over onto the opposite knee. Reach your arms through, pull them in, and let's go. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25. Remember to breathe. And if you're in the pigeon and you've been hanging out for a little bit, feeling really comfortable, make sure to double check your ankle, push it away from you, get it to go across your body, and start feeling that stretch. 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7. We're almost done. It's almost time to do the side splits. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All right. Release, relax, roll over, come back up into standing. Oh, man. Okay. That is everything that we're going to do prior to side splits. And if you don't understand why we did all that stuff before we did the side splits, it's partially to get your body prepared and warmed up after a long day of not moving or just sitting on the subway or driving or in the office, etc. Maybe you've been in your pajamas at the couch because you work from home, whatever it is, to slowly get your body ready for some intense stretching. All right, the side splits are going to be intense, and hopefully we've done enough to prepare your body. Every stretch that we've done is related to some of the muscles that are going to get worked in the side split. So basically, all of these other stretches are pre-stretching for the side split, and we're just hyper focusing on one particular muscle. And when we do the side split, all of these crazy muscles will be hitting us all at the same time. All right. So that's why we do those, and why I try to make it very explanation full so that you guys can hop in, have very little previous knowledge, and get right into a bunch of good stretches, and then we can get into the side split nice and safe. All right. Before we get into the actual side split, there's only one thing I want to talk about, and it's safety. If we get into a deep side split position, your legs are open, and you start falling forward, it's easy to catch yourself with your hands. But if you start falling backwards because you lose balance, it's a lot scarier. So what I recommend is get really close to this wall. We're very, very close friends with this wall at this point. And if you are within about 20, 30 centimeters, 8 to 12 inches, you can probably just fold at the hips and touch your butt to the wall. That makes it a lot easier and a lot safer feeling. So, if you lose balance, you go, whoa, no. You got the wall to catch you and to keep you safe. All right, let's get into side splits. First, open up those legs, get into this wide side split position until your hips are about to start feeling a little bit uncomfortable. Once they're feeling uncomfortable, fold forward, put your hands down like you're going to do a push-up. All right, we're not actually doing push-ups, but we want to take some of that pressure of your body weight off of your legs, put it into your hands. And that makes it a little bit easier to externally rotate the legs. We talked about this way early at the beginning during the Cossack Switches, but we want to externally rotate the legs. What that means is our heel is down, our toes are up, and our knees are pointing up. And we want to do that on both legs. Oh, this is the first side split, so still going to be tight and uncomfortable. So go ahead and take this slow. Once you are here, I want you to slowly walk your hands back towards your hips as much as you can. We're shifting all that weight that we took out of the stretch by putting our hands out in front of us and putting it right back into our legs and giving us a whole bunch of pressure to get into that side split. Oh, it's intense, it's uncomfortable, and it's exactly what we need to be doing. So if you're feeling okay, try to do a little bit of a wiggle from side to side, nice and gentle, to see if you can open up your legs just a little further. And if you can't move at all, you're totally stuck, it's time to start at 30 seconds. Let's go. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26. Remember to keep breathing. Don't hold your breath. 24. Holding your breath will not help you relax. 22, 21, 20, but also don't hyperventilate. I'm pretty sure that also does not help you relax. So somewhere in the middle. 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All right, get back into your little push-up hands. Pull yourself forward, crawl, bring your legs together. Come on out of that side split stretch and try to get back to standing. Okay. Next thing we're gonna do, we're gonna shake out everything. Shake, 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 shake. We were just in a really intense position with our arms, with our legs, with our core. Just everything was freaking out, trying to keep us stable, keep us balanced, keep us from falling, keep us from getting hurt. And right now, we are trying our best to relax as much as possible. So if it looks like I'm just doing these crazy wiggles, that is because that's exactly what I'm doing. The more you wiggle and the more loose you look, the more loose you feel, the more like floppy fish thing your leg is doing, the more relaxed those muscles are. And the more relaxed they are, the better prepared they are for the next stretch. Okay? Let's do a couple of quick tests to make sure your body is still working and still doing good. We're gonna do some hula hoops real quick. Hip circles. All right, let's feel a really intense stretch on the left and right side of the hip, like right here. And that is why I like to do the hip circles. If they do absolutely nothing for you, feel free to skip it. Just try every once in a while, see if maybe one day it does feel good. And then let's lift those knees, make sure the hip flexors are working. Let's do some mini squats to make sure your knees, your ankles, maybe your toes are doing good. I think 2 days ago and 3 days ago, my left ankle was feeling a little bit weird, but they're doing just fine today. That's good. That's 2 days in a row of no ankle weirdness. So positive. All right. I like to kick myself in the butt. I don't know why. I just do. So that is our warm up. I'm gonna come in and check the chat real quick because I think I've missed a whole bunch of stuff. Foxy Roxy has been super supportive here on YouTube and helping me address comments from Ibrahim. Welcome, Ibrahim. Let's see. Nefertina sent a rose. Thank you so much. We have a whole bunch of people following. Secret Garden Vintage Apartment. Ooh, that sounds like a cool channel. Just followed. Thank you. Princess McGraw. Welcome, welcome. All right. Goldel X. Welcome back. It's good to see you again. It was a struggle for me. I have no idea where we just got to when you sent that message, but if it was a side split, then that's okay. It was a struggle for me too. I know it doesn't look like it because I might have a little bit more flexibility than, your normal dude on the internet, but that was brutal for me too. I was like, oh, okay, there's only number one. We got two more to go. But we have two more to go, and hopefully I've killed a little bit of time so your muscles can relax a little bit, and it's time for us to get into round two. If you're having fun, if you're having good vibes, you're feeling like you're making a lot of progress, you're stretching more than you normally would stretch because you're hanging out with us, then please make sure to follow, subscribe, get notified, do all those good things. We go live every single day at this time. And hopefully my consistency helps you build consistency with me. We build a little bit of community, and then together we can make a whole bunch of progress towards those types of goals, or at least, lower body mobility goals. All right, that's enough of the spiel. Let's get into round two. Same thing. If you're just hopping in, we're doing side splits. And if it's your first time, I recommend you definitely get super close to the wall so that if you are in a split position, you start falling backwards and the wall will catch you and keep you safe. All right. Come on forward if you don't need the wall as much, or if you think you don't need the wall as much. And you know what? Never mind. Just stay close to the wall. Always stay close to the wall. I move forward because I have these curtains and I don't want to trip and die. So I move away from the wall so I don't do that. Okay. Open up those legs until your legs are almost uncomfortable here at the hips. Fold forward, put your hands down, and like you're going to do a push-up, use that weight that's in your hands and the reduction of weight in your legs to externally rotate the leg. What that means is your heel is down, your toe is up, and your knee is pointing up. All right, from here, do both sides, by the way. From here, walk those hands back towards your hips, towards your groin, and hang out for a second. Take a nice deep breath. Do you feel like you're a little bit deeper than that first round of side splits? Because This is where I got stuck that first round. I was like, oh man, this is brutal. But I'm already significantly deeper. And this is also why we do that relaxation in the middle and that shake. So the muscles are ready to get into a deeper position. Okay, once you've hung out here for a second, I want you to do a wiggle from side to side. Maybe you can be a little bit more aggressive than that first wiggle that you did. And see if you can break that little last bit of friction holding you back from a slightly deeper stretch. Maybe your floors are dirty. Maybe your feet are sticky. Maybe somebody spilled some juice on the floor and it's just, sticky. Whatever it is, hopefully you get into a slightly deeper stretch. And that's it. Let's go. 30 seconds. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14. Remember, breathe. 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All right, crawl forward, pull your legs back together, come back into standing, take your time, no rush. Okay, we're standing. Whew. All right, same thing. Let's shake it out, wiggle. Start with your hands, do your legs. Be extra focused on your legs because your legs are working really hard. And make them flop, make them shake, make them relax. Kick them, flop them, wiggle them. I think my arms looks like those air things that you see at like car dealerships where they're trying to get your attention on the side of the road and it goes like. I hope that makes sense. I hope that's a good impression. I wonder if I could play like charades with that and somebody would know what I'm talking about. Anyways, I hope your legs are shaken out. I filled the time a little bit with random rambling because we need extra time to recover in between the really intense stretches. And hopefully it's ever so slightly entertaining and fun. Okay, let's do our checks. Hip circles. By the time we do the second and the third, I need the hip circles a lot more because the stretch here, but just need to do them for like 4 seconds and then it's good. High knees, make sure the knees and the ankles are doing good. Come up onto your toes, make sure your feet are good. And we are ready to go back into round 3 of side splits if everything is working. If something just went horribly wrong and your ankle is uncomfortable, then maybe don't go back into more side splits. But if everything passed the test, everything's working, let's get back into round 3. Again, keep your butt real close to the wall so that if you fall backwards, the wall will keep you safe. Let's open up those legs. We can take this nice and slow on this final one. No stress. Open up those legs as wide as you can until it's uncomfortable in the hips. Fold forward, put the hands down. Take a nice big deep breath here. See if maybe you can already go much deeper into the stretch than you started on our first side split. Externally rotate the legs, which means your heels are down, your toes are up, and your knees are up. In case you can't see because I'm so far away from the camera, my knees, I'm going to bend them for you. Are pointing straight up. Okay? Oh, okay. Come back down. Now, take your hands, try to walk them back towards your hips. Put all of that body weight right above your legs. Open up those legs as much as possible. Do a little wiggle from side to side. Keep that last little bit of friction holding you back. And once you are in position, let's do our 30 seconds. I'm going to add one detail. We're going to combine a little bit of pancake into this. What that means is I want you to really try to bring your belly button to the ground and focus on folding forward. Okay? That doesn't make sense. That's okay. Just try your best and see if you feel your stretch getting more intense in the hamstrings. Let's go. 30 seconds. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18. Also, don't hold your breath. Remember, we gotta breathe. 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All right, crawl forward. We're done. Crawl, crawl, crawl. Pull your legs back in and together and come back into standing. All right, final round. Shake it, wiggle it, kick, relax, flop around. Might take a couple of seconds for your muscles to start working well enough to actually flop, and that's okay. This is the final round. We can start to wind down. Whew. Okay. My arms are back. My legs are getting there. My left leg in particular is taking a sweet time. Oh, okay. Everything's starting to feel okay again. Oh man. Ooh, deep squat, feeling tired. Okay. Do a little wiggle, do those classic dance moves. And once your legs are feeling okay, let's do our hip circles. Oh, hip circles. High knees. Some mini squats to test our knees, our ankles, and our feet. And finally, I'm gonna kick my butt as I walk back over to the camera. And congratulations. We have just wrapped up, I think, 50-ish minutes of live side split stretching. I hope you had a whole bunch of fun. I hope you were entertained. I hope we went at a good pace and you felt like, nothing was super overwhelming. There was enough information to get you into every stretch. And unfortunately, for everybody who's been on for like forever, maybe it's a little bit too much information repeating for you, but don't worry. We're trying to make sure that we have a big group of fun, energetic, happy people who want to keep on growing together. And the only way we can do that is make sure everybody knows what we're doing, right? We gotta be inclusive. All right, CCO3 says, thanks, that was great, and has some applause. Thank you for the applause. Wacky inflatable arm flailing tube man. Wu-Tang, that is exactly what I was doing. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Good, I'm glad to, I mean, I didn't spend like 30 seconds explaining or anything, but exactly what I'm talking about. CZ also asked, how long do these sessions usually take? The actual stretches can very comfortably be done in 30 minutes if we're just going, going, going. It's hard to explain and talk about all the moves and give you little details in that same amount of time, unless I go really fast. And because TikTok has been growing pretty fast and a whole bunch of people have been joining in throughout, I try to be kind of thorough because I know it's a whole bunch of new people who haven't been here before. So that's just how it's going at the moment, and I haven't figured out another way to do it yet. But yeah, we had a whole bunch of people follow, and if you guys are still on, I appreciate you. Casablanca, Nefritara, and ooh, she sent a whole bunch of hearts and stuff. Lovely. Princess McGraw. Oh, actually, no, that's a different person. Lemore, very cool names. And I appreciate you guys all for coming. Thanks for hanging out. Goldel X. Thank you for coming back. I think this is like the third or fourth day in a row, right? I definitely saw you yesterday. And I'm pretty sure I saw you the day before. So thank you for coming back and practicing consistency with me because that's what we're doing, right? We're trying to create a fun, cool place to hang out, do some stretches, everybody have some progress, and I appreciate you being a part of it. Thank you for coming back. All right. Day 3, yes. Okay. I do try to do my best to when I see names to try and remember them. So if you are joining in and you're secretly just watching on the sidelines, that's totally okay. There's no pressure. Just know that if you make a comment or say something, it's much easier for me to get more familiar and remember that you were here. So if that's not important to you, then that's totally fine. No pressure. All right, that's enough. I've been just rambling now. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming. I hope you had fun. Make sure to hit follow, hit subscribe, come back. We do this every single day. Hopefully, we'll build a community that just becomes full of lovely people who want to get stretchier and are very supportive of each other because it's so much easier to do stuff that is really hard and full of struggle when other people are doing it with you. All right. That's it from me. Thank you so much for coming. I will see you tomorrow. Bye.